Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we are all hands on deck. We are addressing something that I think is something that really needs to be addressed. This is a topic that really needs to be talked about, and people need to be more aware of this because honestly, this is one of the most insane rule changes that I think YouTube has made in a long time, if really ever, and the actual impact that something like this could have is terrifying. Like, we don't even know the full extent of how far this could really go, but based on how little we know, it's definitely something that is concerning. It's something that brings up a lot of concern, not only just for me, but for other creators too. You know, this is bigger than me at this point. If anything, like, channels like mine could really be threatened by this rule change, because if you guys don't know, I've covered this kind of content before. I do whenever it's like a major situation, like at least if I know about it. Usually I make a video talking about it because these types of people need to be called out for this kind of stuff, right? We have people who are legitimate predators and stuff that are running around and they're doing some very unspeakable things. I mean, you gotta think there's people like EDP445 that we've called out before, right? Who was trying to literally meet up with a child. You know, these people could get away with it a lot easier, hypothetically, and it's insane to me that YouTube is punishing the people calling them out for these kinds of things, because our content brings awareness to these problems, right? Like, we make videos talking about this, I make a video covering the situation or whatever, more people then become aware of what's going on and what that person's doing. So the fact that we're getting punished for this in a way, to me, is just absolutely ridiculous. So this is all mostly started with a YouTube channel by the name of Boblax. I don't know if you guys know who Boblax is. He's one of my personal favorite people in the commentary community. I've had a lot of conversations with this guy and even worked on things with this guy in the background and everything. He's a pretty stand-up guy in my opinion, right? So to see that he's the one who was kind of hit by this situation in the first place, it kind of pisses me off a little bit more, because Josh is genuinely one of those guys that like actually doesn't deserve something like this. But he made a video that he was talking about this whole situation, right? He kind of broke a lot of this, at least for me. I figured out a lot of this from Josh, aka Boblax, and basically Boblax made a video, right? And it was like a compilation video. It was 3 videos he had previously made where he was calling people out who had basically like sexually harassed or like spoken to minors or groomed people, you know, just the kind of content where you're exposing somebody for like doing something sexually deviant, you know what I mean? Like talking to a minor. I think we can all agree that's a pretty weird thing to do, right? No adult should be having these types of conversations with minors, you know, or, you know, pressuring people into things. Like, there's a lot of different things that go into these, but basically Boblax made a video that compiled 3 of these videos together, and he put it on his YouTube, called The Sonic Degenerates, okay? And it was more or less focused on the Sonic community and everything, because Boblax is a huge fan of Sonic, and so he's like really involved in the community and everything, which is cool, you know. I'm not as into Sonic as he is, but of course to each their own and everything. So his video was taken down by YouTube, and he was issued a community guidelines strike on his channel because of this. And YouTube actually ended up sending him an email and basically telling him what he did wrong. And it was very worrisome. It was a pretty big problem, in my opinion, with how YouTube really kind of responded to the entire situation. So, hi there, I hope you're doing well and safe. Thank you for your unending patience. I'm sending this email to let you know that I have an update from our team regarding your concern about the community strike that your video linked here got. Thorough review on your video, the team determined that it did indeed violate the community guidelines under nudity and sexual policies. No sexually gratifying contents allowed on YouTube. Posting bad stuff may result in content removal or channel termination. Additionally, your video has been removed as it contains content of audio or text that includes descriptions of graphic sex or sexual noises. So let's focus in on that. Your video has been removed as it contains content of audio or text that includes descriptions of graphic sex or sexual noises. So let's talk about that type of content. Right? So basically what Boblax got hit here for is because he was showing the screenshots of like these groomers and these weirdos, people who were getting canceled and talked about because of, you know, like an inappropriate conversation that they had, right? He was showing the screenshots to like show you what these people were saying, which is pretty on par with what I do, with what a lot of commentary creators do in general. When we talk about these things, like, you want to show the screenshots and show like what these fucking people are saying, because at the end of the day, right, when you think about it, that's pretty important, right? Like, if we're talking about the subject of like, hey, this guy, I don't know, let's say this guy's grooming a 16-year-old, right? Just off the top of the head. you know, showing the conversation to like give context to what happened is quite important, and it serves a way of holding these people accountable, right? Like these people, you know, they do some weirdo shit, they say some weirdo shit, it gets called out by people like me and Bo Blacks who are trying to, you know, basically hold people accountable for what they're doing, right? And YouTube instead views what we're doing as a problem. So it's gotten to the point where anyone who creates content like this, exposing, you know, people like EDP445, for instance, who literally tried to meet up with a minor for sexual gratification, making content exposing these people has now gotten that much harder because, well, you can't show the screenshots of the texts, or you can't show the audio that, you know, basically him admitting to what he did, right? Because if you do, you're now risking YouTube coming along, deeming that as violating their nudity and sexual policy, and smacking your video into the shadow realm. And not only that, but they put a community guideline strike on your channel. So let's talk about why that's so important, because I know a lot of you don't make content, you don't really know the ins and outs of what makes this all work. So if you get 3 strikes within 3 months of the community guidelines, they will terminate your YouTube channel. If you get 3 of these strikes in 3 months, which by the way, you know, they can go back on old videos and hit you with these things too. They'll literally take your channel down. So for instance, YouTube could come along at any minute now, go back to just 3 of the videos I've made covering stuff like this, and decide to give me a community guideline strike for it simply because, well, I showed the screenshots of these fucking weirdos talking in DMs with children, or, you know, sexting minors, whatever it might be, right? So basically, I get punished for reporting on the news. I get punished for exposing these fucking weirdos. Now, thankfully, nothing has happened to my channel yet. It's not like YouTube has come along and hit me with anything, but, you know, Bo Blacks wasn't that lucky. He did get a community guideline strike, and on top of that, according to the email, it was his 2nd community guideline strike. So he had had one before that was already a problem on his channel, right? But this was his 2nd, so now he's 1 strike within 3 months. One mistake that YouTube can come along and see before they basically take his fucking YouTube channel out. That is very worrying, man. That should not be how this system works. People exposing these fucking scumbags for what and who they are should not be getting punished because, well, let's be honest, what these people say is pretty messed up. That just doesn't even make any sense. Like, I get YouTube doesn't want content that's controversial or, you know, really kind of basks in controversy altogether on their platform, but dude, this is serious, you know what I mean? And this can have long-lasting impacts on anyone's channel. It's not just me or Bo Blacks, right? There's dozens, if not hundreds, of YouTube channels that cover this type of information when it happens. So pretty much any of these people now are subject to YouTube coming along at pretty much any time and taking these videos the fuck out. So that's definitely spiked my anxiety a little bit, like, oh yeah, my YouTube channel could disappear at any time, simply because YouTube doesn't want me showing some text messages on the screen. So obviously this has generated some controversy. A lot of people are not really happy about this, especially content creators and their audiences, but YouTube really needs to answer for this one, man, because this is genuinely dangerous to a lot of people's careers. And not only that, but it's just another overreach by the platform, you know what I mean? They're over-policing once again. This is a common problem with YouTube where the reaction isn't proportionate to what's happening. They go completely over the boundary and just start smacking people down for pretty much no reason. But dude, this is ridiculous. So I just wanted to cover this. Bo Blacks, I'm sorry this happened to you, man. YouTube, you guys gotta get it together. This is actually fucking ridiculous. Like, not even just because of me. Like, to be honest with you, if they take my channel down tomorrow, it's whatever. But like, dude, too many people depend on YouTube for their living for this to be some sort of like situation that's unfolding. They got to get this shit together. So I just wanted to come on here and talk about this. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about YouTube's garbage new rule and signing out.